Hey everybody, this is Jared with Ductless Plus. Been a little while. We started an Intelli-HEAT video a long time ago, and we're just starting to wrap it up. The home has been framed out, some plumbing stuff got done. You can see the floor has been cracked open, so there's been a lot of other trades in this home since we had an opportunity to come back and finish all the line set and set up the Intelli-HEAT. But anyway, this is the end result. I'm going to talk a little bit about the final installation as far as like what I did. I ended up running these pipes, hooking up the connectors on them. This is like a little overkill. I got this from the branch boxes and just tied these in. I wanted to make it look a little cooler and have my own little flair on the insulation there. But anyway, I did do that. That's my drain line. This is all hooked up. Still got to hook up the drain on the furnace, but I actually really want to see how well this Intelli-HEAT's going to work during the winter. So I'm not really too concerned about the furnace operating. Right now, just the Intelli-HEAT's working. So the switch over on it is not quite ready to go 100% until the drains ran, but we will get that done too. But anyway, right now it's doing just heat pump and air conditioning. It will switch over to heat, but I actually have the gas valve off in here because I don't want it to condensate until the drain's done. Anyway, Denver Wilcox, he knows all about these machines. He explained to me how to wire it. I wired it all up through his teaching. He's been through the Intelli-HEAT training with our DSG here locally in Colorado. I didn't do this. This is a little safety switch that you can install on the drain. I really think you need to install this switch if you're going to install any coil. This is not just for an Intelli-HEAT. You can put this on any air handler, furnace, air conditioning, heat pump system in the market. You can interlock it through this safety switch here. The Intelli-HEAT coil actually does have a specific safety for it here, and that's what this is. But because I'm not concerned about it being in an attic or leaking somewhere through drywall or anything like that, if it did leak, it would come out the overflow here. I would see the drip and know that there's something wrong with my primary drain, okay? So that's why I'm not concerned about this. But if it is in an attic and you don't have a drain pan, you better have one of these on there or you will be in trouble. So this is something that can be optional. However, it does come with your Intelli-HEAT because they don't know where you're gonna put it. And again, always use your local municipality codes, okay? Whatever code your jurisdiction is and they want you to do it, they may want you to require this, put it in, okay? So I'm just giving you my professional point of view. I am a firm believer in my 34 years of doing contracting that if you can figure out a way to not have every single little bell and whistle on a system that can potentially fail. Remember, mechanical things can break. And if you don't need it, why put it on there? Why have that additional expense, time, labor, and effort put into it when it's not necessary? So I do recommend all contractors streamline them business-wise and find out the things that they only need to do. Don't spend your money on frivolous things that you don't need to spend your money on. Keep that money in your pocket and invest it in more important things for your business. I do have a special guest today. It's Denver. Denver Wilcox is here. He's going to kind of walk you through the Intelli-HEAT. Everybody goes, hey man, I've done a heat pump. I can do an Intelli-HEAT. Well, that's true. I believe you can, but there's a little bit more to them, and Denver's going to kind of walk you through that. Come on in, Denver.
Oh, hey, how's it going? So yeah, I'm the Intelli-HEAT expert, so to speak. But real quick, before I give you all the information, I'm just gonna familiarize myself with a little light reading that I like to do. So, just so we're all on the same page, ready?
We're all on the same page, ready?
We're on the same page, ready?
Okay, got it.
Okay, got it. I'm professional. Ready? So this is the manual that comes with your Intelli-HEAT. It's pretty thick, as you can see, probably 3/4 of an inch. But only 1/3 of it's in English. But I read it all because I'm gifted and talented. Because I'm the best, one of the best. Anyway, so yeah, back to this. Keep that, don't get rid of it, it's come in handy. This is our Intelli-HEAT control panel. The coil has been installed, which we saw in the earlier video. Lines have been hooked up. This is the control panel. Looks a little daunting, but it's not that bad. So just to touch on a couple things to expand on what Jared told you earlier, the float switch here for the drains. When you install the Intelli-HEAT, it actually comes with this if you would like to use it. And it installs here in a little connector that's pre-made for it. For this particular installation, we're in a mechanical room. We're not in an attic anywhere, so we have no risk of flooding something. So we've got it connected this way, but you can do it either or. Again, check your local codes, 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 codes. But yeah, it's a very straightforward install. Again, everything you need to know is in the manual. It tells you what to connect, how to connect, mounting options, all of that. Personally, myself, I like to mount it this way because there is a control panel here on the front, which at a glance can sort of show you. It's got a green light. I don't know if you can see that here. I can see it because I've got perfect vision. Double vision. Yeah, it's green, so you can look at it at a glance and know everything's okay. So you can run your emergency heat from here. You can do your tests from here. Everything is done from this panel. So make sure you can access it. Don't put it on the back because you can't get to it. like this in the back. So another cool thing about the Intelli-HEAT as a whole is it is compatible with Kumo Cloud and the MHK2 wireless Honeywell Mitsubishi thermostat. Oh, yeah. So we have it here. It's got a little slot for it. Obviously ours isn't mounted yet because we have the cover off just to show you everything inside. Comes with a neat little wiring schematic, diagram here. You know, tells you what you're doing here. 6, 7, right there. So, powering this. You don't have to run its own power. It's powered off the condenser with the same control wire that we power the branch boxes from, which is a 4-conductor, black, white, and red, and a ground, which is, try not to block the camera there. It's up in here. Don't touch this like I'm doing because I'm super smart. Lands here. S1, S2, S3, and then your ground. So that's carrying the power and the communication signal from our condenser into here and sending it back. So sort of a revolving loop, like a merry-go-round. S1 and S2, you put your meter across those leads, it'll give you your 208, 230, 220, whatever your voltage is coming in, which is what we expect. Then you go from S2 to S3, and you'll get a fluctuating voltage you'll see on your meter. You'll see 8, 13, 31, 28, 17, 4, 8. And all that is the pulses of the communication signal. Each voltage pulse is relaying some sort of information that your condenser is looking for. So all those little pulses are normal. Don't think you have anything weird. That's completely normal. Same on the branch box, same on the condenser, same on the indoor heads, same on everything Mitsubishi, because that's how we do it. And since you want to see it very in depth, we're going to show you right now. So don't get scared. This is completely normal.
So 2 and 3, are we just going to go on auto feature?
You can. Obviously, this depends on the meter you have. This has auto sensing, so it knows.
So it's got auto sensing, so you can just put it on there, whatever, or maybe you hold it.
I will hold this for you.
But if you go between S1 and S2, you're just gonna see your power supply. Okay, that's all you're gonna see. You need that voltage there to. This is what's powering everything up. All your relays, your controls, everything. Okay. They're not doing it through necessarily low voltage. That's a different thing. That's the communication side of it. That's going to be through here. If you look, we're going to go to S2 and S3. Don't hit your leads together either. That won't be good. But now if you look at the meter, you're going to see this pulsating voltage. If you don't see it doing this pulsating voltage right here, bopping around like that, then you got a problem. Your machine's not communicating. It's not talking back and forth. And it's not doing what it should be doing. If it's just giving you like one solid number or OL or something, it's not talking. So looking at this right here, it is definitely talking, and I know that this has been working fine in heat pump mode for several weeks. So anyway, there's that.
For thermostatic control, we're running MHK2 Mitsubishi, and that is a must-have. The only way you can program the features of this thermostat, of this Intelli-HEAT, is through the MHK2. It's got menus in it that are only discoverable and recognizable once you hook up to the Intelli-HEAT. So you have to have the MHK2 to do that. Plus, it's a great thermostat. We love them. Buy them from us. Also, if you're dead set on ecobee, Nest, and all those other controllers that aren't as good as the MHK2s from Honeywell, Mitsubishi, you can run those, but you still need the MHK2 setup for initial programming. And then you got to buy a secondary module, which wires in up here, which will then interface with your Nest, ecobee, Eco, that thing, but it's not great. So it's just two extra pieces of equipment you got to buy: thermostat, the interface, and it's just not as good. A lot of the Mitsubishi stuff is sort of proprietary and works best with itself. So why not? You bought the best, keep the best together. That's what I say. We're the best. You can be the best. Buy the best and just do the best like this. It's really good. But furthermore, so there is your existing thermostat wire. Before you do this, we like Jared said, we like to cut it up high. We leave a little, so if you ever want to rerun it or pull it, you got it there. We would cut it up high. Since it's already hooked to the furnace, that connection is done. We reroute it up here, all nice and fancy. It comes through and it ties into the terminal board here inside the Intelli-HEAT control panel. So basically, we're making a jumper by cutting one side and just stripping it and adding here. Again, this is all in the manual. It's all common hookups, nothing you can't do. Oh yes, this is something I've noticed. Again, this is orientation of how you put your control panel. Remember I said I like to have the buttons facing forward so you can get to them. The manuals actually shows this the opposite way. So if you're not diligent and understand what you're looking at, when you go to hook up your thermistors and your sensors here that come from the lines, which it's hooked up, we can't rip it out, but we can, explain those. When you go to hook that stuff up and you're landing it here on this terminal board, if you're not paying attention and you're going by the way the manual says, the boards are actually upside down in the panel. So if you don't pay attention to that, you will wire wrong and it won't work and you'll be going,
Yeah.
on day to ride. Jared, come fix this. Professionalism, attention to detail. Just, be as good as me. If I can be the best, you can almost be as good as me. That's the thing you could do. But also, if we can zoom in here, it's going to be tough to see, maybe not. I'll try to point it out. Up in here, beyond the terminal blocks, there's a little sticker there. TBA furnace, TB therm. If you can see those, I hope you can. So those are what I found in the manual that were reversed in the diagram of how they explained to hook it up. And again, that's based on orientation. I mean, this makes the most sense to have it this way. I guess you could have it pointing down if you were not 6'9" like me. 6'3". That's camera adds a few inches. I don't know. Yeah, be diligent of that.
Talk about the.
I actually made that mistake on the first one, and after looking at it, scratching my head, I noticed that right away, and I corrected, and everything came on, and it worked like it should. So, my first one I did was before the class, before the training, which class actually falls short of and doesn't tell you that. But now you know, because I know.
We figured it out through research and development.
R&D.
Yeah.
R&D.
We're not going to do it like
And hot dogs.
NASA. We do it just like SpaceX. So Elon, just want to let you know, if you want some good heat pump, guys, here you go. We can help you. We're here to help you, Elon.
Yeah, I'll put them on the Starliner.
We know how to. It's
Starship liner.
Starship.
Intelli-HEAT is a super simple install, to be honest. Mechanical part of it, the ductwork and stuff like that, that can be a little daunting because this stuff is sharp, it's dangerous, wear gloves. If you don't have the right tools to cut and fold and flex connectors and all that, maybe that part you can have a professional do, but I am 100% certain any one of you out there that can read can do this install.
Yeah, the one thing that I think that I didn't like about the coil, the installation process of the coil, was the fact that they have so much shipping material inside, and they have an additional coil in there that if you're not, you know, using it in that position, they want you to remove these pieces out of there before you install it here. So if you're not taking the drain pan out and you're not removing these shipping brackets and these plates that are in there, you totally effed up. So, you know, the reason why they have those in there, you know, is because they don't know what you're going to do. If you're going to have a horizontal application left or right, they don't know. So these are multi-positional coils. They can be upflows, left or right. I do not believe, actually, I'm like 100% sure this is not a counterflow coil of any kind. So you would not be able to use this on a counterflow. You would have to install this coil if you were doing a counterflow furnace on, you know, underneath the furnace on the positive side, the supply side, or on the return side on the top, you know, just to avoid that, because this doesn't have a downward flow drain pan. So that makes sense to any of you guys out there installing. I have seen guys install upflow coils horizontally and actually hook the drain on them. So, and if you look at this coil here in particularly here, you can see that there's a couple of knockouts here. They got a gasket little section, and they also got another one just on the opposite side of that. And this is where they have those coils in there if you're going left and right. But we're going upflow, so we removed all that stuff in there, got rid of all of it, removed the shipping brackets, so we don't have any of that obstruction on the airflow. And it is actually in the book, it tells you to remove all that stuff. So don't get gung-ho.
It is, because I read it in real time.
Don't try to finish all fast, especially if it's your first Intelli-HEAT coil. You do got to tear the whole thing apart. So tear it apart, rip all that stuff out, put the coil back in there, so put the screws back in there, leave the little sensor dangling out how they have it, because it's in here too. So you do got to have a little bit of internal prepping before you mount it. I would recommend you get all that done before you do all this, because then you got to worry about the flue being in your way or something like that. And remember, this coil, this furnace already had an AC on here. We ripped the AC out and put ours in there, so we didn't want to cut the flue pipe, so we can do all this entering it from an angle. So that's another thing about doing retrofitting. You don't need to cut everything up to install a coil. Enter it another way.
I do have something to add, and this goes without saying, but I'm going to explain why. When you're connecting these plugs here in sequence, please make sure it's off.
Yeah.
Don't do this live, because, well, I can't do it now because it's on, but these boards flex. We recently did a repair on another company's system that they were plugging stuff in, and this is your outside panel. The board flexed and grounded out against the backside of the panel and blew a non-replaceable fuse.
Yeah.
Non-replaceable doesn't mean rip it out with pliers and get another one. Means you can't replace it.
You can't unweld it.
We had to replace the entire board. We had to research what happened, and through, you're sort of like Batman, the world's greatest detectives.
Mechanical detective.
We found out what happened. We saw the evidence of what happened and where it happened, and we came to the conclusion that's what it was, and we replaced the board the correct way and did everything, and guess what? It worked.
I want to get into that a little bit too, about Denver and him talking about you guys pushing stuff. Look, I get it. You're probably having a bad day. Maybe the customer upset you because they asked you to paint the side of their house too. I don't know, but I just want to let you know, don't go in there and just smush on stuff. If you got to really pry things and you're mushing things and you're having a hard time getting it to plug in, you're not doing it right. Take a step back and take a little moment to see why it's a problem, because that stuff should easily just click right in. And if you got to push it so hard that, you know, that this standoff right here and you're flexing that board that much, remember the engineering of these, all those little welded sections of the board are super close to that metal, and if you're pushing it a little aggressive, you're gonna hurt the board. And it's very difficult to package the smoke into the modules. That's very expensive, and when you let the smoke out, you can't repackage it. It's unpackageable at that point. So I learned that a long time ago. I've let the smoke out a couple of times, and You know, it never went back in. I don't know why. But then you got to get a new one.
It is compatible with the Kumo Cloud, or the Comfort Control as it'll now be called, with the new equipment coming out, which does plug into this same port, the CN105. All the Mitsubishi stuff all interfaces through the CN105, whether it's a indoor wall mount, indoor ceiling cassette, which we like. Intelli-HEAT's, all their stuff integrates CN105. So if we were doing the Kumo Cloud for the wireless control on your phone, Wi-Fi control, it would plug in just like this. Though it has 2 ports on it, and then the MHK2 adapter would plug in to the Kumo Cloud. Then you would have not only your awesome, best thermostat they make, MHK2,
Without spending the additional money on all the other components. You don't need to spend all the, quit wasting your money. Look, you're going to get contractors try to sell you everything. Look, that's fine. We can do that for you, but just, you know, our job as a contractor is to teach you what you need. That's all you need. You know, if you want to take it to the next level, we got customers, they want to be able to control it from out of state. You know, fine, we can help you there. But if it's not something you need, you know, don't waste your money on that. We'll buy some Bitcoin or something. I don't know.
you have to buy an MHK2 anyway.
Hashtag
Remember,
Bitcoin.
you have to buy an MHK2 to
Regardless, yeah, you have
So,
to have it.
just use what you already have.
Yeah.
Don't buy a second thermostat and another controller, which is hundreds of dollars, I'm sure.
And if you're a contractor, if you are a contractor and you don't know about mylinkdrive.com and you don't know about DSB designing and hooking these machines up, I really stress that you spend several weeks learning how to navigate that system completely. They give you this tool for free so you can protect yourself as a contractor and your customer. We just got done doing a nightmare install, and I really feel like if that contractor had just a small amount of knowledge on the DSB platform, and maybe the company that sold him the equipment made him take that testing and requirement before he got his equipment, he wouldn't have been, you know, getting in a lot of trouble to this day where now he's out of business, you know. So that's something that happens with you guys out there. Don't be that contractor. Learn about the DSB. What we found out on any kind of Intelli-HEAT 2.5 ton and up coil, and you go on a multi-zone, ooh, we really don't recommend that. I know Mitsubishi might be mad at me, but I really feel like you should go on a 1-to-1 application like that. If you want to go on a 1-to-1 application with a larger heat pump, I wouldn't recommend you put a 2.5 ton, 3 ton on a multi-zone, because you're really going to steal majority of your capacity is going to go to this. Who knows what's going to go to the other head, especially in high demand situations. So in this application, it is a 1-to-1 only.
There are also interface issues Mitsubishi has discovered with the thermostats and the Kumo clouds when you're on a multi-zone system.
Yeah. We want to also thank all of our subscribers, everybody that, you know, watches our videos. We really want to, you know, tell you guys thank you. We appreciate it. The cameraman, we like the cameraman, Don Leonard. He's in there. He's been busy. We've all been busy. It's been a long summer, you guys. It's winding down. This year's over. You know, today's Halloween. Got 2 more months left of this year. That's his prison picture. He just got out of jail. But I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm married. That's the prison he's talking about. But
Woo, God.
Sorry.
Anyway, but yeah, you know, so, you know, we got some other videos. We're going to come out here soon. We are, I do want to stress this. We are going to have a school. So if you look right over here, we got 2 branch boxes. So in this basement, we're going to do a multi-zone dual branch box installation. So we're going to talk about that too once that gets done. They're going to go right here, the branch boxes. We're going to do a bunch of ceiling cassettes down in this basement. We're going to tie it into a wall unit over in the garage, so that this is going to have 6 units on it. It's going to be used with the 48,000 BTU Hyperheat R410A unit. Back to the transition too. I do want to throw this out there. Just because you're getting a new refrigerant doesn't mean the technology's changing. They're still using the same operation as far as how the gas is getting processed through the loops and how these coils are operating, and the sensors are gonna be doing the same kind of equation on the temperature side of it. So even though the refrigerant's gonna be different, you're still gonna be getting the heat absorption and the heat transfer that you're gonna be expecting from this high quality product that Mitsubishi offers, right? So the only difference is pressures and subtle changes as far as like engineering designing of the coils. So other than that, the technology, the communication, the wiring, it's all going to be virtually the same. Any wall unit is going to be 100% out of the box Wi-Fi compatible. So that's kind of cool. I think when it comes to the Wi-Fi, you're not going to have to buy the additional receiver. It's already going to be built in. You're just going to have to get the app on your phone and have your contractor set it up at that time. So, but I think that's kind of cool that that's happening. But hey, let's look forward to the future where the heat pumps are taking over. Last year was the first year in the history of mechanical that heat pumps outsold gas-fired equipment. That's unbelievable. I mean, that's really kind of cool. Technology's taken us a long way, folks. We don't need to always use fossil fuels, so use the heat pump. Use the heat pump when you need it. Use the gas-fired furnace when you need it. You need the gas on that negative 20-degree day where the heat pump's just not going to give it to you. You can use that with a variety of different furnaces. Carrier, Lennox, it doesn't matter. Train, whoever, it don't matter. You just got to make sure you wire it right. So, anyway, thanks guys, appreciate it. We all love you guys out there.
Have a lovely
Denver loves
Halloween.
you.
I'm so glad to be back. I know a lot have been asked for a lot of times. My popular demand, I am back today for you and her and him and me and you. And some of our guys in the back, they're shy. They don't want to be on camera. We're here for you. Call us.
It's 11/11, you guys.
Make a wish. If you wish for Ductless Plus to come do your job, it'll come true. I promise.
Yeah.
Just give us a call.
Remember, we're a service company. We're a service company.
Call me. 867-5309. Give me a call. I got you.